there's no place like home for the holidays. And no matter how far away you roam, if you pine for the sunshine of a friendly gaze, for the holidays you can.
Welcome back, audience, to another Horror for the Holidays Stocking Stuffers. I'm Jeff Searcy.
I'm Jay Loxton. It's one of those classic double records.
Oh, yeah.
We're still in the King George III Library.
Indeed.
The Kirk-a-Merc Library.
Yes, Jay, it's amazing. Get up anything spooky this month? What the hell? I know you were on spring break with your kids and everything, so I'm assuming you didn't get up to too much spooky stuff.
So a couple things. Went to Branson. I saw went through the Wax Museum. They had a little horror section, ranging from like Elvira to the Universal Monsters,
Cool.
Xenomorph.
Nice.
Went to Ripley's Believe It or Not, which adjacently spooky.
Yeah, kind of spooky.
And went to the in downtown Branson or Old Town Branson. There was a cafe called Transylvania Cafe, which did have a couple like Bela Lugosi posters on the wall, and I think like a Dracula themed like cake.
Cool.
And then there was also a place called like Branson Walkers, and it was like a zombie themed walking taco place. But I was like, I'd be the only one eating because my kids would not eat any of that. So I'm like, maybe I'll come back later and
Not
do this.
taco fans, huh?
I don't know. I just don't think they would have done well. Normally they like walking tacos, but I was just like, I don't know. I don't want to risk it.
I don't want to risk this.
And then also, it's adjacently spooky. There were some spooky scenes. It's a kids movie. The Looney Tunes, The Day the Earth Blew Up.
Okay.
I'd say kind of a little bit of John Carpenter's The Thing, mixed in with Looney Tunes fun. And it was a good movie. It's a good solid movie. Absolutely worth seeing, especially if you like Looney Tunes, American animation, stuff like that.
Cool. Got up to some spooky stuff then.
Yeah. How about yourself?
Well, I, of course, rewatched several of the Leprechaun movies, as I always do around St. Patrick's Day.
Yeah, I've heard you keep babbling about those teenagers who are after your gold.
Yeah, I know. Me gold, Jay. Me gold is missing.
We'll have to talk about it next year.
It's coming. Mark your calendars. We're all out of Maniac Cops, and now it's time for some Leprechauns. But other than that, no, I didn't really get up to a whole lot spooky. I mean, if you're talking like existential horror, I did take my wife to see Interstellar at Flicks because that was on the big screen.
Okay.
So if you want to feel the horror of being an insignificant speck in the cosmos.
I mean, we do have at the time of recording, of course, this will be comes out 2 weeks later. This Friday, both the Death of the Unicorn and The Old Lady Sitting on a Bench in the Yard.
Yes, Old Lady in the Yard.
Both coming out. So I'm sure we'll talk about one or both of those on the next Stocking Stuffer.
From the studio that brought you Old Lady in a Painting and Old Lady in the Walls comes Old Lady in the Yard.
Oh, don't forget about the old lady in your swimming pool.
Oh, yeah, that's true. Forgot about that. Mostly because it was so unmemorable.
My favorite thing was, and of course I can't find it. I don't know enough about baseball to like truly understand it. But somebody posted it in like the baseball subreddit. They were like, "I'm pretty sure Night Swim broke the CBA," and like detailed out like all the ways in which I thought was really funny. Anyway, yeah, that's. But yeah, I definitely do want to see Death of the Unicorn. And I don't know, I might see Old Lady in the Yard.
You know what, Jay? I think we should just go ahead and see them both. There's nothing I like better than an old lady spooking people. Especially if she's in a yard or a wall or a chair or a painting. Sometimes all three at once. And then in a pool. That's new ground that's never been broken before.
Like I said, man, they make going to the Blumhouse less and less appealing with every spooky thing that happens in and around it.
Oh God, it's just so. Just bringing up bad memories.
And then of course, we'll get dragged right back in with M3 Gen 2 later this year.
Oh, that is going to be a masterpiece.
All right. Well, anyway, what are we doing on this episode, Jeff?
Well, I promised our number one fan some horror stories set in Iowa, which turns out is a little bit harder than you think it might be, because there's not a whole lot of horror material in Iowa unless you love spooky cornfields. So that's why this first one is called The Thing in the Field.
Oh, yeah.
The land near the Derwich farm had been dead for years. No crops grew there. No birds nested in the twisted trees that lined its borders. Even the wind seemed reluctant to stir the air above that cursed ground. Most folks in Harrow's Ford knew better than to speak of it. It was an old thing, left to rot beneath the weight of whatever had claimed it long ago. But every now and then, someone new came through. A drifter looking for work, a hunter chasing game, or a fool with no sense of fear. That night, the fool was named Johann Meyer. Johann had been raised on stories, tales his mother whispered to him before bed, warnings carried across the sea from the Black Forest to the prairies of Iowa. His people had come here for freedom, for land, but they had not left their superstitions behind. They spoke in hushed whispers of the wild hunt, ghostly hunters that swept through the sky, stealing away lost souls, of the Knockkrappen, a great black bird that devoured children, and of course, of the corn demon, the hunger in the fields, a spirit of the harvest that claimed not crops but souls. The Gillman's looking at me. Johann had laughed at these stories once. Now, standing at the edge of the Derwich farm's ruined land, the laughter was gone. The farmhouse loomed in the distance, sagging and hollow, a corpse of wood and nails. The field stretched before him, rows of dead stock shifting without wind, and then the whispering began. It slithered through the field, a rustling that was not leaves. He gripped his rifle tight and stepped forward. The whispering grew louder as he advanced. The stalks swayed around him, parting and closing as if the field itself was breathing. And then something moved. A shape too tall for a man, too thin, shifting like smoke in the moonlight. The stalks parted, and it was there. Its limbs were too long, its body twisting in a way that defied nature. Its skin, if it had skin, rippled between shadow and substance. Its eyes were pits of black, rimmed with something faintly luminescent, filled with a terrible knowing. The whispering turned to words. "Why do you walk here, little thing?" Johann did not answer. He simply raised his rifle and fired. The shot rang out. The bullet tore through the thing's chest, if that's what it could be called. It did not fall. It did not bleed. It laughed, and then it came for him. Johann turned and ran. The thing followed, its voice slithering through the rows. "You cannot kill the land." The ground trembled, the earth pulsed beneath his feet, as if something vast and unseen shifted below. He stumbled, crashing to the dirt. A shadow loomed over him. Johann rolled onto his back, raising his knife just as the thing reached for him, and then a name. Not his own, a word unbidden surfacing from the depths of memory, of one of the old stories from his mother's warnings. A name she had told him long ago, the name of a demon of the fields. She had said there are ancient things, older than men, older than gods. They don't feed on crops, they feed on us, but they can be bound. She had made him repeat the word, remember the name. A binding, a thing to make the monster weak, if only for a time. And now, as the thing in the field loomed over him, he forced the word past his trembling lips. The thing froze. For the first time, the whispering stopped. The air thickened, pressing down like a great unseen weight. The thing's form rippled, its shifting outline flickering like a dying flame. And then it screamed. Not a human scream, not an animal cry, but an old scream, an ancient scream, a wrong scream. It raged. Johann seized his chance and drove the knife up. The steel met its now solid form. It shrieked, reeling back in pain. Its form flickered and twisted, and the whispering returned, but this time it was weaker. He scrambled to his feet and ran. This time it did not follow. By the time he reached town, dawn was breaking over the horizon. He did not stop until Harrow's Ford was far behind him, with his mother's words still ringing in his ears. It cannot be killed, only bound. But he had named it, and that would be enough for a while.
Ooh.
So there's an old one for you. I figured I'd set something in like 1850s-ish Iowa.
Yeah.
You have a little bit of spooky stuff going on there. But maybe you want something a little more contemporary. So I just called this one The Call. The first call came at 2:17 a.m. James Calloway was asleep when the shrill ring of his cell phone yanked him into consciousness. He groggily fumbled for the device on his nightstand, eyes squinting against the glow of the screen. Unknown number. He considered letting it go to voicemail, but something, maybe the eerie stillness, maybe the whisper of the wind, compelled him to answer. Hello, his voice thick with sleep. For a moment, nothing but static, then a voice, distorted, distant, barely audible beneath the crackle. James, don't go outside. The line went dead. James was dead asleep when his phone rang again. 2:27 a.m. Half conscious, he reached for the buzzing phone, barely registering the unknown number. His thumb swiped across the screen before his brain caught up. Hello? Static, a faint hiss again, and then a voice, distorted, urgent, but this time eerily familiar. James, listen, you need to leave your apartment right now. Who the hell is this? You don't have time. Get outside now. The line went dead. James sat up, his heart thudding against his ribs. A prank? Wrong number? Then he smelled it. Smoke. He scrambled out of bed and threw open his bedroom door. Flames licked up the walls of his apartment, thick black smoke pouring through the hallway. The fire alarm was blaring, but he hadn't heard it through his sleep. He thought, if the call hadn't woken me up. Coughing, he grabbed his phone and sprinted for the door. He barely made it down the stairs before the fire engulfed his unit. From the parking lot, watching the blaze consume his home, his phone buzzed again. Unknown number. Shaking, he answered it. You made it. Good. And then the line went dead. James didn't sleep the rest of the night. By morning, the Des Moines Fire Department confirmed what he already knew. If he'd stayed in bed just a few minutes longer, there was no way he would have made it out. The fire had started from faulty wiring, spreading too fast for most of the alarms to trigger in time. The news called it a tragedy. James knew it had been impossible. Someone had known ahead of time. Whoever it was, they'd saved his life. The next call came the following night, 2:17 a.m. He answered before the first ring. Who are you? It's me, James. The voice was much clearer this time, more than just familiar now. It was clearly his own. James's skin went cold. That's not possible. I don't have time to explain. Listen carefully. Tomorrow, 4:30 p.m., don't take the university exit. If you do, you die. James shot to his feet. What the hell is going on? The call ended. By the time 4:30 p.m. rolled around, James was behind the wheel of his old Honda, gripping the steering wheel so tightly his knuckles turned white. He approached the University Avenue exit. His gut told him to take it. His apartment being gone, his best friend Eric had offered him his couch for the night, and this was the quickest way. Surely he was worrying over nothing. But then, again, the fire should have killed him. At the last second, he decided to stay on the interstate. A minute later, he could see the traffic in his rearview mirror slowing to a crawl. An 18-wheeler had jackknifed across the exit ramp, and the sedan that had taken the exit just the same moment as he would have was completely flattened. His phone buzzed. Unknown number. Good. You're listening. It's not over yet. What do you mean? Death doesn't like to be cheated. Over the next 3 days, the calls kept coming. Each time his future self warned him about another fatal accident, another near miss, a faulty crosswalk signal that nearly let him walk into oncoming traffic, a random bar fight that ended in a stabbing, a recalled batch of medication at the pharmacy. Each time he listened, each time he survived. But the more he dodged death, the more he felt like it was closing in around him, like it was watching, waiting for him. And then on the 6th night, his phone rang again. He answered, "What now?" But this time the voice wasn't his. It was a low, rasping breath that said, "You shouldn't be here." His blood ran cold. Static crackled, and he could hear the whisper of movement through the line, a sound like bones scraping together. You should run. The calls cut out. Then the lights in his apartment flickered. Eric's couch, the air thick and suffocating suddenly. A shadow moved in the corner of his eye. He turned and saw it. A figure stood in the doorway, tall and shrouded in something blacker than shadow. Its face was an empty void where features should be. It raised one hand. The phone buzzed one last time. He didn't even have to look at it. Unknown number. The lights went out. The next morning, Eric woke up to a missed call from James's number. Odd, he was just in the living room. Why would he call? A voicemail waited. Hesitantly, he pressed play. And then he heard his friend's voice, desperate, terrified. "Eric, listen to me. You have to." The message cut off. But before the line went dead, there was something else. A second voice, low and hollow, whispering 2 words. "Your turn."
Ooh.
A little bit
Creepy.
of Final Destination for you.
A little bit of Final Destination in there.
But I did what I could.
I was gonna say, the probably the 2 biggest Iowa ghost stories. I don't know if you ever had this. Did you ever go to the Jordan house when you were in elementary school?
Yes, we did.
And they would talk about the ghost and
Yes,
stuff
the
like
ghost
that.
on the stairs.
And
Yeah, I
then
do remember that.
we went recently, took my kids, and they're like, we that was all made up. We don't do that anymore. And I was really disappointed.
Yeah, that is kind of sad.
But and Villisca Axe
Yes.
Murder House, that's probably one of the most haunted things in Iowa.
Yes, that's the one I always think about.
And then also the Van Meter Visitor,
Yes.
our own beautiful cryptid,
Are one of our amazing creatures.
the pterodactyl that shoots like a lightning laser bolt from its head.
Yes, the laser dinosaur, Jay,
Yeah.
of course.
Yeah,
Lives in
everyone's
Van Meter.
probably our favorite. Yeah, certainly our favorite cryptid. We have our beautiful
those-
cryptid boy.
Those Ohio frogmen are pretty good. I don't know.
Yeah, oh, man, we need to watch Frogman this summer. So get some Frogman in.
We should.
Even if that's just for a random aside episode or something, we gotta watch Frogman.
We could do that.
I've heard it's great. Anything else?
Well, Jay, you know me. Not going to let you escape without doing a terrible quiz.
Oh boy.
Guess what, Jay? BuzzFeed's making quizzes again.
Uh-oh.
And you know what they love to make quizzes
They're
about.
back with a vengeance.
Oh, it's a vengeance, Jay. You've never seen anything this bad before. Let me just pull it up for you here real quick. You know, Jay's done a lot of these horror quizzes over the years. He probably thinks he's prepared. You know, he's probably going to, like, what 5 foods do I have to pick to find out what horror character I am? Stuff like that. But no, Jay, we got something even more crazy. If you get 14 out of 15 on this quiz, Jay, you are a horror god.
Oh.
You ready to become a god?
All right, yeah, we'll see. Well, 1, we'll see if I'm a god. I guess 2, who's the arbiter of who decides who's a god or not?
BuzzFeed, Jay.
All right.
How many Halloween movies have there been to date?
Oh, jeez.
We got 7, 11, 13, or 17.
Okay, so we've got. Let's see. So we've got 6. We've got H2O. We've got Resurrection. We've got the 2 Rob Zombie ones. And then the 3 Halloween Kills, Halloween Ends. So 13.
It's saying 11, Jay.
Where am I off?
I don't know. Could be when the quiz was made, too. I
Yeah, I don't know.
But they're thinking it's 11.
All right.
I think you're right. I think it is 13. What was the year that Texas Chainsaw Massacre was released?
1974, same year as Black Christmas.
Nice. I knew you'd get that one. Which movie did The Exorcist director William Friedkin say was the most terrifying thing he'd ever seen?
Ooh.
The Exorcist, A Quiet Place, Bird Box, or The Babadook?
Oh.
None of them are all that terrifying.
I mean, that's the thing. It would be really like self-fulating to be like
The Exorcist.
Now, I think The Exorcist is the scariest of those 4. I'm gonna say I'm worried that it's A Quiet Place, but I'm gonna say The Babadook.
You are correct, sir.
All right.
Which comedian inspired Jordan Peele to write Get Out?
Okay.
All right, here we go. Hold on. BuzzFeed's having difficulties.
Patton Oswalt.
Funny if true. Eddie Murphy, Dave Chappelle, Chris Rock, or Robin Williams.
Okay. I'm gonna say Dave Chappelle.
Apparently it was Eddie Murphy.
Okay.
All right, you still have a chance, Jay. You could still become a god.
Yeah, I mean
Just can't
we
get any
know
more-
I'm technically right
Yes,
with
you
the
just
Halloween
can't. You
thing.
can't get any more questions wrong. In which movie does Jason Voorhees first wear his iconic hockey mask?
I believe that's 3.
You are correct, sir. Because he wears a bag over his head too.
Yep.
Which of these movies is not based on a book? Psycho, Rosemary's Baby, Hereditary, or The Ring?
Oh boy. I'm gonna say Hereditary.
You are correct, sir.
All right.
Who was the star of The Birds? Grace Kelly, Tippi Hedren, Janet Leigh, or Joan Fontaine?
I feel, man, I'm gonna kick myself if I get this wrong. I feel like it's Tippi Hedren.
You are correct.
All right.
Which movie gave John Travolta his very first film role, Jay?
Grease.
The Devil's Reign, Carrie, The Omen, or Suspiria?
Ooh. Somehow I doubt he was in Italy. It'd be wild if like John Travolta's just like in Suspiria. Maybe he is. Maybe I'm just completely unaware. Wouldn't surprise me if like he was in Carrie. Like,
Did you Carrie?
yeah.
It was The Devil's Reign. Jay.
Okay.
What is the main character's name in The Blair Witch Project?
Oh shit. I feel like it's Becky. Is that even an option?
It is an option. You have Rebecca, Heather, Courtney, or Blair.
I feel like it's Rebecca. Yeah, Blair, from the Blair Witch Project.
Yeah. All right, Rebecca.
I feel like it's Rebecca.
Apparently it's Heather.
Okay, shit.
Damn. Not a god, but a man.
Yeah, I'm a mere mortal.
Which movie was the first horror movie to be nominated for the Best Picture Oscar? The Shining, Silence of the Lambs, Psycho, or The Exorcist?
That's The Exorcist, right?
Yes. I was going to say, you better know this one, Jay. Who was the killer in Scream 2? Cotton Weary, Mrs. Loomis, Billy Loomis, Charlie Walker.
Oh, it was Mrs. Loomis. Yeah, yeah. It was Aunt Jackie.
Which movie is the quote, "Be afraid, be very afraid" from?
Oh shit.
The Fly, Jaws, Pet Sematary, or The Howling? I think I know. I think it's the one with the shirtless Jeff Goldblum.
That's what I was gonna say. I'm pretty sure it's The Fly.
Yes, it is. Who is the first character to get possessed in The Evil Dead? Linda, Cheryl, Scott, or Shelley?
I don't fucking know.
I think it's if I remember the opening monologue to Army of Darkness, I think he said first it took Linda.
All right, yeah, let's go with that.
No, apparently it was Cheryl.
All right. Well, I would have said Shelley, so we would have been wrong either way.
Who directed It Follows? Ari Aster, David Robert Mitchell, Robert Eggers, or David F. Sandberg?
I think is it an Ari Aster?
I honestly,
I don't know. That's my guess. That was my gut feeling.
Apparently it's David Robert Mitchell.
Okay.
Serial killer guy.
3 names.
He's got 3 names. All right, here we go. Got a couple left, I think. I don't know. The quiz keeps crashing. So I keep finding my place.
Hey, BuzzFeed, fix your fucking website.
Oh, all right. Well, so we were almost done. Which is generally regarded as the first horror film, Jay? I think we've had this one on a couple
We've
quizzes
had this one
before.
multiple times. It's The House of the Devil or something like that.
You are correct, sir.
But not Ty West's House of the Devil.
Yes, Jay remembers things. All right. Anyway, we're out of time. We're getting kicked out of the King George III Library as we speak.
Follow us on social media. Send us an email, horrorfortheholidays@gmail.com. We're at horror 4 holidays.
Read the JFK files. Don't let them stop the truth.
Bye.
Bye.